ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. Guru Nanak, a reputed saint and realized soul, says that once your heart is filled with Omkar, with recitation of that sound, all burdens gets dropped away, and such person will be dwelling in joy and bliss and attains salvation. So, here what he says is, see, there are people who makes lot of efforts to attain something in life, and even after achieving their set goals and fulfillment of all the material desires, they still continue to be in misery and say that their destiny is like that, because they think they are born to suffer, and they suffer in whatever the activity, and despite of the achievement in that activity in life. It is like this: a poor man who lives in a hut, he wants to become rich and acquires wealth in his life, even though he is in abundant wealth. That wealth becomes a hell to him, and he will not attain any happiness. He will continue to be in misery. Similarly, a person who is in a hut, he wants to grow rich and live in a palace. So, even though he attains that palace and start living in the palace, his sorrow which was there in a hut continues to haunt him even in the palace in which he is presently situated. So, there is no change in him, and he remains the same, continuing to suffer. Why it happens? Because the wavelength of his life current has not changed while he was in a hut or in a palace, when he is poor or when he has become a rich man. It continues to be the same without any change. So, there are two types of people in the world. So, one type of people, they want to change the outer conditions, and though they may succeed, they continue to be in misery. And there are other people who are seekers. They never try to change the outer conditions of life. They try to change the life current of the wavelength of their inner being. So, once the wavelength of their life current and vibrations is changed, they continue to be in bliss, whether they are rich, whether they are poor, whether they live in a hut or whether they live in a palace. Throw them into the fire, they are blissful. So, throw them into any situation, they derive only happiness, because the wavelength of their life current has been transformed. So, in this regard, there was a woman fakir whose name was Jokir. So, she was a saint, and when she was about to leave, she asked his disciples to arrange for a fire pyre, and she said, I need not be carried away to that pyre by any 4 persons. I will walk myself into that fire pyre. My time of leaving the body has come. So, please arrange that fire pyre. So, the disciples wondered and asked her, it will be very hot. How can you enter the fire while being alive? She said, I want to leave the body on my own. I don't want to be carried by anybody. Please arrange. So, they arranged. And before the people who are watching her, she walked into the fire, sat in the fire, and was in a blissful state. She was all through smiling with joy and bliss, and while her body is being burnt by the flames of the fire. So, when you are connected with that right living and transform the inner wavelength of your life current, then either misery or happiness will not affect you in any way, and you will be dwelling in joy and bliss irrespective of the conditions of the life outside. So, how to ignite that inner fire. See, when that love with the awareness of the divinity, of the merciful divinity, is born in you, that will guide you to that ultimate reality and divinity which is omnipresent. Thank you.